Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. As usual, I've got Aki hanging out. Pernell will be here later, but Aki, how are you doing right now?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Better than last week. Significantly.
You don't sound like you're about to kill over, so, there's that.
Yeah, just listen to the first minute of the last episode and compare it to this one. See how I'm doing. Yeah, last week we were supposed to have a guest on the show and I got sick, so we moved him and he joined this week. Thankfully, he was able to reschedule and join us. Ryan Chodera, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I am doing good. I am thrilled to have you on. You created a fan site. We gotta specify it's a fan site because a lot of people think this is an official site.
It's an
independent fan project built around game preservation and the Xbox backward compatibility program, a topic that speaks near and dear to my heart given how many goddamn 360 games I own on my console. For the people who don't know what your project and what your website is, tell us about it.
Yeah, so the website is xboxgamepreservation.com. It's been live for about 2.5 weeks now. And if you remember back in the day when Xbox first launched their backwards compatibility program, they had like this user voice website where you could actually vote on games you wanted to see backwards compatible. That was back when they were just doing 360 games.
Yep.
And so I've thought about that for a long time. I wish Xbox had been doing a better job lately in terms of listening and accepting fan feedback. So I launched this site sort of not really as a petition, more of like, I'm a data analyst, is my day job. So I wanted to know, who is still interested in this? What kind of games would line up at the top with the most votes? So I built this. I never built a website before in my life, so it's been kind of a big learning experience. But I built this site. Kind of got picked up by a few web, like Windows Central picked it up, and Pure Xbox picked it up. So we've seen some solid votes come through. It's just been a lot of fun seeing what people actually are most interested in. A lot of licensed titles at the top, which is kind of expected, like Simpsons and Spider-Man that is kind of rampant in the top 10 right now. But you'll see some other titles like Silent Hill 4 and Burnout 3. So it's been a ton of fun to watch and see kind of where fan desire currently lies. But the main goal is to really, centralize this demand. I spend a lot of time on X, more time than I should. And oftentimes I'll see people shout into the abyss saying, hey, I wish this game was playable. I wish it was backwards compatible. Like, why not? What's the deal? And I'm kind of like
that all the time.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too. And I was kind of like, enough is enough. Let's create something and see if we can centralize this demand and show Microsoft or these other publishers that people want to play these games again. And, they're happy to spend their money and enjoy these old titles.
Now, a couple of years ago, we had the glory of the backward compatibility program. They wrapped it up a few years ago saying that they supposedly hit the limits of what they could do. Do you believe that horseshit excuse they gave? That they hit the limits of what they could possibly do?
I believe that they were ready to move on to the next thing. I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but since then, so you'll remember they shut down the program twice. They brought it back for the 20th anniversary back in 2021, and you'll know that this year is the 25th anniversary, so there is some timing to consider here. But when they made that announcement, they had not closed on the Activision Blizzard deal. So now you have a plethora of older Activision games that are now first party. Like those old Call of Duty original Xbox games that didn't come BC for whatever reason. You would think that in 2026, there's a little more leniency in what they can and can't do. Especially when you consider games like 50 Cent Blood on the Sand and King Kong that never went on digital sale, but you could use your actual disc. I'm very curious on how that works. Is that just to get around licensing or relicensing these games? I'm not quite sure. But at the very least, if this project does anything, I'll be happy if it starts a conversation internally at Xbox saying, hey, people like this. Can we do it? Can we not do it? And just, revisit that. We shut it down for the last time because that's all we can do. I
never bought I can't put a Halo 1 disc in my console and play it. How do you not? How is that under your limitation? Like, you can't get Halo 1 working. How about Fable 1? How many original first-party Xbox games do not work? I think the original Xbox lineup is, I'll just say it, pathetic. It's 60 titles?
Yeah, it's not many. And I think that's also to the virtue of them adding those pretty late in the program. Those were never like part of the weekly drops that Major Nelson used to announce on his Twitter page back in the day. But what you're saying speaks in the data too, because most, actually right now it's about 50-50 right now in terms of the percentage of votes across 360 and OG. But the sheer number of games is way larger on 360. So more votes are going towards OG titles. People want to play those games again.
I mean, there's so many titles that are locked to that console and locked to that era. I mean, you could say the same about 360 as well, but I mean, at least we have a few hundred 360 games that we could tackle on our current generation consoles. Original Xbox games, it's such a small handful of games, and there are so many good ones. Even if you ignore licensing, how many titles in the top 20 can you look at and be like, why isn't that playable? Like, why aren't the Silent Hill games playable? Konami's been in with the program. They're friendly with Xbox. How about the Sonic games? Where are those?
Right.
Exactly.
I'd still really like to understand how exactly the hardware at least for like the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One that had the disk drive, why can't you just put the disk in? Because they all read it with lasers, and so it should be all software, and there's enough fucking room on these things. You should be able to just download whatever is necessary to say, hey, I have a bunch of Xbox games. I want to play an Xbox game. Let me download whatever software I need to from you guys so that I can put a disc in and run it. Kind of like how you have the DVD and Blu-ray software that you can download that lets you watch movies. But why can't we do that with the games?
Streaming a video file is a lot different than running a computer program. And if the current generation consoles were not built with the 360 architecture in mind. They were built on their own what the hell ever that Microsoft wants to do, that they change every other generation. But they're not designed to know what the hell is on those discs. At this point, all they know is what the disc is. And that's what triggers the download to get the emulated version of the game.
I just don't understand why they can't allow you to download the software so it does understand that. Because I understand it takes up room, but Xboxes have so much more room now than they used to.
It doesn't have the hardware to run that code. It's not built to run those games, so it virtually runs them. That's why every game you download basically has its own 360 console emulator wrapped on it. That's specifically tuned, supposedly, to that game. I don't know how they tune them, how they tweak them to get them to work specifically with which games. But when they say that they hit the limit, I can't believe that they. There's too many. Why do we have Risen 1 and 2 but not 3?
Yeah, I mean,
why don't
it goes without saying, the team over there are nothing short of wizards with what they've been able to accomplish with this busy program up to this point. Popping in an OG Xbox game and having it read the original disc from 2001 is crazy. And then upscales to 4K with auto HDR. It's really impressive. I wish I knew more about the logistics of what it takes Microsoft to actually kind of go through QA and what it looks like. They've historically said the original developers and publishers don't need to touch the code. The code is actually remains untouched completely. So I'm not quite sure how it all works, but it is very impressive. But I'm curious, though, if I were to ask you both, what are maybe your top 3 titles that you'd like to see BC that currently are not, what would they be?
If I had to pick just 3, oh geez. Magna Carta 2 has got to be up there. I don't understand why that fantastic RPG isn't included in the lineup. I would have to give Blur the nod. Are there licensed cars in that game, or were they unlicensed cars?
They're all licensed. Yeah.
Split Second was the unlicensed cars. If they could get Forza, why can't they get Blur?
Yeah, good question. Blur is actually number 10 right now on the most voted list.
And Alpha Protocol, I think, is up there too.
Yep, which that's not first party.
Yeah. Although that was published through Sega, so I could see the hiccups there, but it's not like Xbox and Sega are on bad terms.
Yeah, Sega has plenty of existing BC games.
Aki, what about you? What if you could pick any 3 games to make them backward compatible? What would you pick?
I have trouble even remembering that far back, to be honest. But are any of the Splinter Cell games on the 360? And are they backwards compatible?
I believe everyone is.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't play a whole ton of Xbox 360 games. That's when I first started in my Xbox, catalog, and I did not have a lot from back then. I have maybe 70-ish games from back then, and I don't remember what any of them are off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, when the backward compatibility program started, I was just like, I want to have these. I want to make sure that these are playable and I could keep playing these. And I would find which ones I didn't own. I would find which ones were still available digital, which ones I could get on disc. After all was said and done, out of the backward compatibility program, I have everything but 4 games, and I also have a bunch of regional variants.
Nice. That's impressive.
Yeah. I am very disappointed that I am missing 4 games.
Were they just delisted and you can't access them?
Yeah. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader from THQ, which was delisted and still added to the program. Babel Rising was delisted and added to the program. And then I just missed out on Magic 2014 and Screwjumper.
Okay.
See, I'm never going to understand the backwards compatibility stuff because they make the emulator specifically for individual games. People have just made emulators for like PlayStation 2 games, and they just play the games. Why can't Xbox just make an emulator that just plays the games? Why do they have to make one for each individual game? Because the software that they're emulating.
That's a question for them. I mean, technically, the series can handle it through dev mode. I know people have Xbox emulators running on dev mode on their consoles. I don't do that stuff, but I know there are communities that do that stuff, and the system runs plenty. It's just, I would imagine legalities is what keeps them from just adding everything to the program. Unless, like the PS3, the original PS3, they had the hardware for the PS2 inside.
Yeah, I would love for things to be made like that, but then they'd just say, okay, well, we need to charge another like $500 for this console, which...
Yeah, that's what's happening with Project Helix.
Well, to be fair, that's less, we're giving you more stuff, and hey, processors and graphics cards and RAM all cost like 20 times what they should. I don't even want to
know what the hell is going to happen with that system when it's finally coming out.
They're projecting it's going to cost over $1,000 now.
Thanks
to the graphics card, and I would like to say I just think it's probably going to be dead in the water because of that, because that's so much money. But I've also seen people spend and sell out of a model kit that costs around $750. So,
look at the ROG Ally that they put out, where they thought the smaller one would be the big seller, but it's the premium version that's sold out.
Yeah, people like to
$1,000
spend
version.
a lot of money, and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Hey,
I think
I'm
the
one of
days of
those
the
idiots with a 2
$500
terabyte Galaxy console. I like spending money on dumb shit.
I think the era of $500 consoles it's pretty much over at this point. You're not going to see that again next gen.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just don't
PS6 will be the
understand
same
how
thing.
it's working, though, because like constantly every year we hear about how people are having more and more trouble, being able to pay to live anywhere, being able to afford food, and yet we still just keep buying these obscenely overpriced items.
They're not always the same people.
It's enough that they tend to get sold out, so it's chunk of those are the same. There are a lot of
people in the world. You know that, right? There's more than like 50 people in the world.
Yeah, I don't
Trash Rando coming in. Name Jet Set Radio Future backward compatible. Thanks. I wish, man. Jet Set.
That one's also high on the list. That's number 5.
That is up there. What are some of your favorites that you see at the top of the lists?
If I'm being honest, most of my favorites are not at the top of the list. I think since Simpsons Hit and Run I grew up on, I love that game a lot. But I would love to see more representation for the OG Medal of Honor games. And you're gonna laugh, but the old Burger King games I would love to see playable on my Series X.
Those would be amazing.
They're fun. They're really fun. I mean, they're ridiculous. Like Sneak King is a very silly game, but it's very entertaining.
I have a couple of ridiculous votes on your site already. I have Battle Chess voted for.
Okay.
I don't think anyone knows what the hell that is. El Chavo Kart.
Ooh, that's a rare one. I've got a copy of that.
It's sitting on my shelf. That's why I want it. I'm the first person to pick Fuse from Insomniac. Proud of that one. My Horse and Me Too.
Why not?
You would have something like that on there.
Of course I had that on my shelf. Why wouldn't I have My Horse and Me Too? Really? I mean, come on. It was like $100. No More Heroes. I am still mad that never came to America for Xbox.
Yeah.
That disappoints.
Luckily the Series X is region free. I think I bought the digital copy of Panzer Tank Assault or something from the UK store that never came to the US, but it's BC, so I was able to get a copy of that digitally.
Yeah,
nice.
I have that. I have the Steins Gate games imported on disc. I actually had to import them twice because the first time I got them, one of my cats peed on them. So
nice.
Yeah,
I would love to see some more work done to the OG games by possibly adding achievements or maybe even working with the Insignia team to bring online play back for those games. I think that would be a nice win for core fans. Yeah,
that would definitely be nice to see, but I don't know the logistics behind if Xbox could get Insignia working on a series. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I think achievements is probably a little more reasonable. Like, why can I get achievements in Psychonauts 1 on PlayStation but not on Xbox? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them retroactively add achievements. I mean, if we can have community sites that can add achievements to like Earthbound, why can't we get them on original Xbox?
Yeah, I just think right now Xbox is in a very pivotal moment. They have a new CEO. They have pretty much everyone at the top is pretty new to their role. And fan sentiment, I think fans have generally felt kind of unheard for a little while now. I think this could be a quick win, listening to fan feedback, not even necessarily backwards compatibility, but opening up a line with fans and figuring out, what do they want to see with the future of Xbox. I think that would be a really valuable proposition for the new CEO and the new leadership.
I've said for years that restarting the program would bring a lot of goodwill, and the main reason to restart it would be the Activision acquisition. They're like the Crash games, the Spyro games; those should be playable. Mm-hmm. There should be no licensing holding those back because they own Crash and Spyro.
Right.
Crash of the Titans, Spyro Legend of the Dragon. Or Dawn of the Dragon, Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon. Titles.
And those OG Call of Duty games never made it.
Yeah. Oh man, too many good games. What do you think of the direction of Microsoft? Do you think Xbox has a solid future ahead of it, or do you think they're going to struggle a bit more?
I'm optimistic. I don't think they're out of struggleville, so to say, but I'm really optimistic about Project Helix. It sounds awesome. Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be different. One thing that I missed from the 360 PS3 days was that they were very different consoles. Games look different on each one, for better or for worse, depending on the release. But PS5 and Xbox Series, they're so similar in terms of power. If you had a blind test, you probably couldn't tell the difference between the game you were playing, which console it was. So I like the idea of kind of taking a big swing, making it a hybrid PC console. That's really exciting. And having a fresh set of eyes up top, it's not always a bad thing. I know, I think Phil did an amazing job, especially course correcting after Xbox One, and I think he was kind of directly involved in the installation of the VC program and Game Pass on top of that. But I'm just very optimistic, looking forward to see what they come up with. Especially, this is a pretty big year, being 25 years of Xbox. I know they have some things planned, and they're kind of being close-lipped about it. But yeah, no, I think there's a very bright future ahead for Xbox.
What are your thoughts on the exclusivity situation? Some people are for it, some people are against it. Where do you sit on the fence?
Yeah, it's not an easy question because I don't have a peek into their financials. I don't have a peek into their Net Promoter Score or NPS. If I had to guess, their NPS is, and not to get too corporate, but NPS is Net Promoter Score, which is pretty much like you ever boot up a website and say, hey, out of 1 in 10, how likely would you recommend this product to a colleague or friend? That's kind of how they generate consumer sentiment towards their brand or product. I'd be curious to see how their NPS has performed since the announcement of third-party releases, because you kind of have to put that against the increase in revenue from those releases. So I get it, right? I get why they did it. It makes it tougher to be a primarily Xbox fan when kind of the games are everywhere. But it's a very gut feeling. I don't think it's a very irrational feeling. I don't, if someone's playing Indiana Jones on their PS5 or Switch 2, it doesn't bother me. But it definitely has this weird feeling of like, man, like why am I invested in this platform if they're not invested in me, sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Oh,
but I'm not crazy upset about it.
Big Xbox. We've been, Aki and I were basically pro Xbox at this point. Our Thursday show with Jacob and Bree, they're both Xbox owners as well. And it sucks to kind of see the brand get dragged down into the mud this much. I think the biggest problem is they're not giving Xbox fans a reason to stick by them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can understand Forza going to PlayStation. It's a live service game. You want to have a big community. I can understand Gears and Halo going to PlayStation. They're live service games. You want to have a big community. Why is Fable launching day one on PlayStation 5?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because
why?
It makes them money.
Why can't Xbox get like a month head start on
I think it should be a year. I think
it should be 6 months to a year. I think they should add it to PlayStation when they add it to Game Pass Premium.
Fair. Yeah, I think we need to just get rid of all exclusives, but we would have to have everyone agree to that, and
that'll never happen.
Never going to agree with that. So,
I mean, we're already seeing Sony wanting to pull back from releasing stuff on PC.
Yep.
That's a very interesting point. I wonder if that's going to raise some conversations internally at Xbox to say, if PlayStation is going to pull for the PC releases, that changes, our next gen plans, because, I'm sure they're thinking like, yeah, now you can play Spider-Man on Xbox because we have the Steam storefront on our console. With that kind of being a little blurry, maybe even going away completely, I'm sure that's changing the conversation in terms of their own exclusivity and what that looks like.
Who knows?
Do you think there should be timed on like single player games? Do you think it should be free for all?
I mean, personally, as an Xbox fan, yeah, I think time exclusivity is a good thing. But someone who looks at numbers all the time, it probably doesn't make sense. Because if you release a big single player game a year or 6 months after its original release, the hype has died down. People have watched Let's Plays. They figured it out. Maybe it's not the game they want, or they're just like, well, it's no longer in the zeitgeist. It's not going to sell nearly as much. I think PlayStation kind of figured that out with the release of Spider-Man 2 on Steam and some of their other bigger first-party titles that are mainly single player. They just don't sell as well, a year down the road or 6 months down the road on PC, even though it's a whole new platform. You kind of have to do it day and date to really kind of drum up that hype and sell more than you would otherwise.
Yeah.
Now, I know Sony ran into a lot of headbutting with the account restrictions as well.
Mm-hmm.
And regional purchasing restrictions and all that garbage. I don't know. I want to see these programs, and I want to see preservation be a serious issue with these companies, with whether it's old consoles or future consoles. I hate seeing games locked to the past.
Well, especially older hardware constantly failing. You pick an OG Xbox today, it's like, 50-50 shot that's going to run with no issues.
Don't they even have like a kill switch inside based on the clock, the clock capacity or something?
Exactly. Everyone tells you to remove it as soon as you grab a new Xbox.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, the clock capacitor fails and it kind of leaks all over the place.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, games should be treated similarly as films do. Is there, not to get too grandiose on you, but it's a time capsule of the time they were created and what was popular in terms of gameplay or licensed IP. And to see that fade away, you're kind of losing part of our own history.
What era did you grow up in?
Mainly N64, OG Xbox.
Because I'm an NES kid. I started with ColecoVision, Atari, Nintendo, grew up through Super Nintendo, as Nintendo over Sega. Fuck you.
Sure.
Just because I'm turning 45 next week. Shut up.
God, you're old.
Shut the fuck up. You're fired. Making fun of me. There's so many games from back then that I wish we could still experience today. There's a game on the Super Nintendo that was never released in America, but was released in Europe called Terranigma. And for some reason, they have never went back to that and re-released it anywhere. Like, why, Square? What is wrong with you?
Well, as we've learned over the years, they don't like making money, apparently.
I don't know. I think everything should be widely available, if it can be. If there's the legal means to have the game available to be sold, people can pay for it and play it, I think they should be able to. And I think Nintendo completely changing companies. I think Nintendo kind of dropped the ball when they switched from their virtual console releases to their Nintendo Switch Online model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remove that ownership aspect of it.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is for countries to be like, hey, a decade after you stop releasing something, people can just have it. Because you're not selling it, you're not losing money, fuck off, would be nice. That way people who have all these ROMs can be like, okay, here, everybody, play your old, Super Nintendo games that haven't been sold in, 3 fucking decades or whatever. Go have fun. It's not like it's taking any money away. It's not like any of them fucking things are made any goddamn more.
Yeah, when does it stop being active piracy, and when does it just become, like, enthusiast preservation?
I mean, I think that's legally 100 years, right?
I have no idea.
I think legally it's around 70. So close to 100, yeah. I think it should be like 10 years. Because at that point, within 5 years, the company's made its money, all the money realistically it's going to make off of a game. After 10, it probably costs them more money to manage what little comes in than actually comes in. So,
but what if it's an online game? Like, look at something like Final Fantasy 11 that's still going.
Well, that's still being sold.
I think digital storefronts kind of negate that, where you can have a game up on a digital storefront for, perpetually. You're not really, was it taking up some hard drive space?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily costing more than it is to maintain it.
Well, yeah, if you're still selling it, I think that's fine. But once you stop selling it, then
that's fair.
You shut the fuck up and go away. That's why I said like 10 years, because lots of especially older games, they did physicals after 10 years. They weren't making any more of them fucking things. You were lucky if they were still making any of those games after like 3 or 4 years, but they might still be some for a bit longer than that.
Speaking of physicals, how many 360 games do you own?
Oh gosh, hundreds. Too many. I don't know where to put them all. It's way too many.
Because I'm sitting on a big shelf, big wall sitting next to me. I wish I could get a good camera angle of it. But I've got on my 360, I think I still have 300 digital games that are not compatible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have all the discs that are on my shelf next to me that are sadly not compatible. I'm looking at you, Afro Samurai and Army of Two the 40th Day, Blades of Time.
And disc rot is a real thing. Like, discs are not going to last forever.
We're already starting to see some DVDs go. Like, I have some movies that just are not usable anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see that issue with original Xbox and 360 games? Because I think back to the Halo 2 Collector's Edition and the Steelbook that came with that, and how if you look for it at all today, it is rusted like shit.
Yeah.
It is so hard to find one of those without rust on it, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I think discs are going to continuously deteriorate. You might get lucky, you might get unlucky. I mean, my Wii U got bricked because of bad internal memory. Not that that's a disc, but that's a more recent console that got bricked. But yeah,
that's not good. And
failing
Nintendo
hardware,
doesn't make it
failing
easy
media.
to switch.
No, it's impossible. It's a lost cause. But I can pick up a book or a DVD from 1996 and pop it in my DVD player or Xbox, and it plays just fine. I think just accessibility is just so important. Yeah, I hope someone out there gets some insight from these data points.
Have you heard any contact from anybody at Microsoft saying like, hey, we like your site. Do you have any data we can use?
Yeah, I saw on X, Jason Ronald, who was kind of headlining the program back in the day. He had commented on the Windows Central article saying that he's seen it. I've had some other contacts, again, saying this is awesome, we've seen it, but obviously no one's going to make any promises or any commitments. But
yeah, the
fact that someone out there is having a conversation internally at Xbox saying, hey, people are interested, check out this site. I feel like that alone kind of solidifies my ambition that this was worthwhile.
Was part of the inspiration behind the site just wanting to have an easy to go through database of 360 games which are and aren't compatible? Because anytime I'm on Reddit, I see people saying, what are the best non-backward compatible games? Or what are the best titles that I can't get anymore? And
that was kind of a... Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
No, I mean, the catalog was kind of a side effect where I had to pull in every game. Again, I'm sure there's still some missing. Then please reach out to me if you find any. Pull out every game that was BC and non-BC. I kind of created this massive catalog that's easily searchable. That was a lot of fun. It wasn't my main goal, but it was definitely something I'm trying to curate a little bit better with some of the cover art. But one thing I noticed as I'm posting or I'm sharing this on Reddit or X, people say, oh, I wish I had this game was BC. I'm like, well, it actually is. You just need the disc. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm glad I have this search function, because if it is available BC, there's a link to the store page on the actual game card.
That's a good idea. Who told you to do that? Some guy on Reddit, I think.
That was a great Reddit tip. I don't know who that was.
Some weird guy.
No, that was an awesome idea. Thank you.
The first time I saw your site pop up, I'm like, I love this. I want to find any way I can to support this thing.
I appreciate that. I got some real negative feedback trying to get this launched off the ground. Some people sent me some very mean comments and this is a waste of time. Like, they closed the program down. Don't you know this is stupid? I hope your site fails. I'm like, wow, you guys, I'm just like, this is such a harmless initiative.
It's a passion project, and you want me to fail?
I'm not even asking. There's no ads on this. I'm not getting any money from this. No, I just had to laugh it off. But I really appreciate the constructive comments. Seeing the passion from people is a lot of fun.
What's some of the weirdest feedback you've gotten?
Oh God,
I haven't gotten much weird feedback, to be honest.
I'm shocked.
I've gotten a lot of people say I don't want to sign in, which I understand. People don't want vote limits, and the reason I have the sign in is to make sure that the votes are legitimate, that you're not just using a VPN and just clicking down the line and hitting every single game. Because the idea is that I want this to be legitimate, valuable data for whoever wants to look at it, whether that's Microsoft or just another passionate fan. That's why I have the data tab on the leaderboard to see what the split is, the top publishers are. So that's why I had the login. I'm not pulling any data from anybody. There's no ads. I'm not selling anything, but I just wanted to make sure that the votes are legit. I get that question a lot. Why I had to sign in.
I don't mind signing in. It lets me keep track of what I'm voting for, and I can keep now I remember that I voted for Battle Chess and Tetris, the Grandmaster Ace. Yeah, I'm the only one on that one too.
I would say that shocks me, but it really doesn't.
There is one vote for Tetris Evolution, one vote for Tetris Splash, and one vote for Tetris, the Grandmaster Ace.
And all three of them
Can
are
you guess who those are?
I'm a little surprised. I think Tetris is a pretty popular franchise.
I love Tetris. I'm not good at games. I suck at games. I've always been bad at games. That is correct. I will fuck people up at Tetris. Tetris is my
Fair
game.
Enough.
As the only game I'm confident in saying that I am good at.
Have you tried promoting this on True Achievements or anything?
No, I haven't. I'm actually not familiar with how you would promote on True Achievements.
I assume just making blog posts and trying to chat with people who have who interact with the platform more.
That's a good shout
to get that spread around, because I know there's a fuck ton of people on there. I'm one of the very few people who don't particularly like the website.
That's because you got banned.
Yeah. Well, even before then, I wasn't a particular fan, but that really, really soured me on it. I never liked it because it was too competitive, and that's also why it was banned. So yeah, no, I didn't. That's why I like Xbox achievements, but you're not going to be able to really be like, hey, check out my site on Xbox achievements, because no one's going to give a shit on there.
No one uses that site.
That's actually my go-to achievement site.
Forums at all, realistically speaking. Lots of people still use it. They just don't talk to each other on there for shit.
I think the design is very easy to look at on xboxachievements.com.
I like that. It allows me to keep track of things manually. I really like that.
The reason I prefer True Achievements is because I have good ad blockers.
Yeah, they do have a lot of ads up on that page.
They have a lot of ads.
I think I just never understood why they have their own points thing. Each achievement has a true achievement point value attached to it, which I never understood.
To get people to really want to do it, because the more competitive people are, the more likely they are to care about that. The more likely they are to care about it, the more likely they are to just be on the site constantly. It's about retention. That's it.
I guess so. They have their own metagame going on there, and there is the argument that there are so many achievements that are so easy to get that they've been completely devalued.
Yeah, that kind of jumped with Xbox One. A lot of those smaller games with easy 1,000 points in less than an hour, what have you.
And they, here's 52 of the exact same game, and you can buy them all 3 at a time for 2 cents. Yeah.
Oh, they're never that cheap. You got to spend $15 to get all 3 versions, but then they'll give you another free game that's a year and a half old.
Yeah. And they'll give you like 4 updates that each give you like 1,000 gamer score for each one of those games.
Yeah, don't you like playing Sokoban for 5,000 achievement points, Aki?
No.
You know, in 14 minutes.
The fact that I've had to go through ones I've already gotten the 1K on to get to 2K annoys the shit out of me. I fucking hate that shit.
See, that's your fault for going back to them. I live unaware in bliss of what I've played in the past. I don't bother to look.
I tend to notice because Xbox achievements, I occasionally look at my sheet to be like, okay, what games have I started but I haven't finished yet?
Oh, God.
And then sometimes I'll see, oh, shit, this has gotten an update and it's giving me more achievements. Fuck my life. And then I have to go back and play them fucking games.
Yeah, I think I just go for the ones that I can do reasonably one playthrough, and that's about it.
What do you think of the existence of triple stacks?
I'm sorry. Are you asking me? I don't know what triple stacks is.
The games that come out that have an Xbox One version, an Xbox Series version, and an Xbox and PC version. Yeah.
I don't really pay it much attention, honestly. Yeah, I just don't think about it. People want to go for those. By all means, have fun.
We stopped liking them pretty quickly. Gets real boring real quick, and you're like, okay, let me play this game. Oh, let me play this game. Oh, let me play it again.
I didn't mind them originally, but it's to the point where there's like 8 games a week that have 3 versions.
Yeah.
From different publishers, and it's just overwhelming.
I think what I'll say to that is it might clog up the store more than it should, and it makes it look more like the eShop, which is pretty rough in that aspect.
Oh, the eShop that's a disaster.
Yeah, it's a mess.
PlayStation Shop's not that good either. It's sad that I think Xbox is the best handled store out of the 3 of them in terms of slop and garbage. It just feels like there's so much you can't avoid. What have you been playing in your spare time? What are you enjoying these days?
I just finished up the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Nice.
Very nice.
It was awesome. I never played the original, loved this one, but that prison level really drained me. Have you guys played through this?
I haven't beaten it yet, but I've played through some of it because I reviewed it.
Yeah, the prison segment, it's like really, really dark, tons of combat, and it's like I just play it for like 20 minutes at a time. Like, man, I need to take a break. It's too terrifying. I need to turn something else on for a while. So it took me a while to get through that game, but I love Silent Hill 2. That was awesome.
You should play Alien Isolation then. I think you'd really like that game.
I have, and let me tell you, not nearly as scary as the prison section in Silent Hill 2.
You're kidding.
No. I mean, Alien Isolation is definitely scary, but you get more moments of reprieve than you do in the end game of Silent Hill 2.
I guess it's fair.
But yeah, I think next I'm going to jump into the Fable trilogy. I've never played any of those games, so I'm kind of wanting to jump in before the new one comes out.
Those are a very solid lineup of games. Always been a Fable fan, although I still think my favorite Fable game is Kingdoms of Amalur.
Wait, that's a Fable game?
No, it's not. That's the point.
Oh, okay. I was very confused. I've never played a Fable game, so I was like, I didn't know those were connected to each other in any conceivable way.
Oh, they are not. I just think it feels like they did Fable better than Fable did.
Oh, wow. I feel bad for Fable then.
No, Fable's great.
Amalur was great.
Fable games are awesome. I just think Amalur was better.
Did you ever play the Connect Fable game?
I did not, thank God.
I might give it a shot.
I was lucky to not have played too many of the Connect games.
I am an unashamed Connect apologist, especially the Connect V2. I had a lot of fun with those games.
I wish there were more. I hate the fact that they didn't just stop selling it with the console. They basically disavowed it completely, and I think it still had legs and could have been used well.
Yeah, I mean, they put out a few of like those Disney remasters after they unbundled it. But the tech in the V2 Connect is seriously impressive. Even today, that is like 13 years old now. I get this at this point, but playing like the Fantasia game or even like Shape Up, they're really good games that just never got their due, which is a shame.
I think with today's tech, thanks to all the VR stuff, they could make a really kick-ass Connect if they
They
really
already
wanted
did.
to.
They just need to use what they already made. It's still great tech.
Yeah, my pie in the sky pipe dream is that since the Project Helix is a PC, you'll be able to plug in both versions of Connect, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Oh, jeez.
Very unlikely.
I mean, it's technically possible. They did work on PC. They have the drivers, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, I don't think you should either. What's coming out in the future that you're looking forward to?
Obviously Fable. I'm kind of curious about the Metal Gear Collection Volume 2. I never played MGS4. Actually, I've only ever played MGS5. So I have some work to do there, but I'm curious of like this classic game being, gosh, I'm kind of calling myself out being here too heavily into preservation, but this PS3 game that's finally being released on everything else, that's super cool. I'm very curious about jumping into that one and trying it out.
A lot of people are happy to see that one unshackled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go back and play Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, or Snake Eater Delta, whichever. It's like that's my favorite one.
Have you played the remaster as well, or the remake? I guess.
Yep, I've played Delta. Yeah, I reviewed it.
So, if you were to recommend one, would it be like the remake or the original?
Oh, I would probably do the remake. I'd probably go with Delta because it has more stuff than the version of it that I played. Anyways, the HD remasters or remakes, whatever the hell they were, from the Xbox One, I think, were really good too. Oh, 360. Okay, yeah, those were really good too.
They're backward compatible.
Really enjoyed those. Yeah.
And newly delisted, I think, right?
Yup. There's the new ones coming.
Yeah.
Gotta delist them and make money on the new ones.
I'd probably do MGS3 Delta and then the original because I just like it enough I'd play it twice, but that's me. And then I'd probably go to 5 because I really like 5 as well. And then I'd probably
Delta's
go
a huge game. That thing's like 110 gig.
What is? What?
Delta, Metal Gear Delta.
Oh. I didn't realize it was that big. Holy shit.
That's like 110 gig.
Worth it. So worth it.
Do you think games are getting too big?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to quantify that. I think like Warzone especially is way too big.
I think
how big should games be? Like our hard drive's just not expanding big enough.
Hard drives are nowhere near expanding large enough. You can fill an entire terabyte worth of space with just like 5 or 6 Ubisoft games. No.
Yeah.
And nothing else. Literally just that. No, they're not expanding anywhere near.
Forza games are massive too. Horizon 5 is 176 or something like that.
Yowza.
Damn.
With all the DLC and the expansions.
We need to make shit smaller and make hard drive space like significantly larger.
Yeah, except that's getting way more expensive now.
It's scary.
For the longest time, expansion cards on Xbox were like the worst deal in memory you can get. And now they're cheaper than the SSDs for PS5. Seriously,
I actually just saw another game. Oh, sorry. I just have another game I'm excited about this year. Is that Star Wars racing game? Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bree's excited for that. So is Jacob.
Jacob is
that looks awesome.
Excited for that one.
I definitely played my bit of Star Wars Racer on the N64 back in the day.
Yeah, I'm more of a Jedi Fallen Order fan than any of the other Star Wars games at this point.
Those are good too. Those are good.
I'm looking forward to that Adventures of Elliot game that's coming out from Square in June.
Adventures of Elliot.
I don't know. I've heard of this one.
That is the 2D HD one that is an action RPG instead of just a normal turn-based.
Oh, it looks just like
Octopath team, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Octopath. Okay. Oh, it looks cool.
That and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in the same month is pretty neat.
I played through 16 somewhat recently.
That's one I need to get into. There's another big one. I think that's 115 gig or something like that.
That is a massively long game. Very long game.
Oh, 136 with the DLC. And that's big. And the only reason I know these is because I am also dumb and got the 4 terabyte expansion card.
Whoa. Nice.
So I have the 2 terabyte console, the 4 terabyte expansion card, and I have a 5 terabyte hard drive hooked up to my console for old games.
That's impressive. So you just have everything.
No.
You would think.
Yeah, normal people would have everything. Yes, me. No.
That probably holds almost as many Rock Band songs as he has.
Jeez. Right now I have a 2284 installed.
Jeez.
Wait, 2284 games or Rock Band songs?
Games. No, 2084. Okay. Sorry, I read that wrong.
That's a lot of
an angle here. Rock Band, I have everything but 3 installed because I own everything but 3 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, I have problems.
Yeah, that
Aki,
problem. You have a problem. It's called consumer whore.
Yes.
You only have one problem, not problems, just one. It's just really big. You treat games like I treat Gunpla. It is a problem.
It is a problem.
For both of us.
Speaking of things I shouldn't have spent money on, I have the cardboard Virtual Boy sitting next to me that just came in the other day.
Ooh. I've got the legit plastic one that they made.
Oh, you dropped $100 for the good one?
I did. I'm not ashamed.
I couldn't justify it. I'm like, ugh, I want to.
How much did your dinky cardboard one cost you?
$25.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not dinky, though. It is a pretty solid piece. I'm holding it.
I always thought it was a missed opportunity not to put out a collection on 3DS, but I'm just so glad they did something with it.
Oh wow, that barely looks like cardboard. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid hunk, and it has, the lenses on there for 3D. So
how does that feel wearing it? Because knowing
you
it's
don't wear it, you hold it.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, you never wore a Virtual Boy ever. It was on like a little, not a tripod, but 2 legs. Little stand.
That's the thing that gave all those kids like neck injuries or some shit and was removed, wasn't it?
I don't think it ever had a head strap.
No, it didn't. Unless you got creative.
No. Like when I got mine, I would lay on my bed and just like set it on my face.
Oh, wow.
That's as close as I got to wearing it. Virtual Boy was a nifty little thing for its time.
Yeah, it's cool to see them. There's like one game they brought back that was never even released that they put on the online pass, whatever you call it, for Switch.
I think they're going to bring a handful, like 2 or 3 unreleased ones, which is
cool.
Pretty interesting that there's unreleased Virtual Boy games that are far enough along that they're worth showing off.
Well, they killed that thing in less than a year?
Yeah.
Or less than 2 years?
It was quick. 'Twas not a popular one.
I wonder how well or how many people are actually playing that on their online service.
I don't know. I played a bit, so.
Yeah, I tried it. I just think it's awesome. I really respect them for preserving those games.
And it's really well done, too. Like, it works really well. I had to go into the settings on the app and kind of like readjust the eye positionings, but once it was readjusted, it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed by it.
Nifty.
Oh, well, I know we've been chatting for a good while. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about that we didn't bring up or mention?
I mean, if anyone has any feedback or any missing titles on XboxGamePreservation.com, please give me a shout. My handle on X is Flassing. That's 2 A's and 2 S's, so FLAASSING. Yeah,
Are you on the Blue Skies?
Excited to have, I am not on Blue Sky, unfortunately.
We got to get you on the Blue Skies.
Okay.
we have left the Twitters for good.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think our account was completely killed too, which is funny.
I think you deleted the account, didn't you?
I updated the birthday because I wanted it to be accurate for the show. Because we were turning 13, and it's like, oh, you're 12. You can't have an account. You're deleted. Like, oh, well, okay, bye. That was easy.
There you have it. There you have it.
Yeah. I was hoping that I could get the account back now that we're officially 13, but I guess it's gone already. So, oh, well.
That's too bad.
Got over that real quick.
Oh, the pain. It went away quick. Yeah. What kind of feedback have you gotten? Is there anything that you're going to try enacting?
A lot of it is more around missing titles or cover art that's incorrect, which is for some reason a little bit more difficult to track down. But I mean, if there's features or anything you can think of that's interesting and would be relevant to the site, I'm kind of all ears.
I think the only thing would be to look for duplicate titles. I saw a handful that were like the same thing. It was just renamed twice, or it had a slightly altered subtitle. So
yeah, I've been combing through them.
And then I don't know if you should have Kinect games on the list. Honestly, I think the fact that Kinect is unable to be done backward compatible makes it hard to consider those. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a respectable thought, and I've heard that before. I think I just wanted to have a full list of every single game, even though it's very unlikely for it to ever get backwards compatible or what have you. Just having them here, it makes it feel like I have a fully searchable library, and hey, you can show your support for Kinect Sports Season 1 if you want to.
I am very happy to see so many Japanese titles listed.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing some. I had to scrape Wikipedia and IGDB. It was quite the task. That was by far the hardest part, was getting everything into one single database.
It is absolutely impressive what you've been able to build. Pernell has joined us. Pernell, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Doing good. We were chatting with our buddy Ryan about Xbox Game Preservation.com, his website built around the backward compatibility program and what we would hope for in the future. Pernell, do you have any games you would like to see playable on current gen that aren't?
I haven't even done a lot of looking to know, but I would assume whatever it would be, it would likely be on Xbox Live Arcade. There were a number of games on there that were like in that indie, that particular, like a very specific indie space. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, that pretty
Xbox
much disappeared
Live indie
when
games?
yeah, that's what it was. Just a specific group of games, and a lot of those pretty much disappeared when Xbox made the transition over to Persian. So I'd like to see more of those make a comeback.
I don't know if the indie
forgot
games
those
can be
existed.
ported.
At one point a long time ago, Phil Spencer was like, hey, I want to find a way to preserve those, but I don't think anything ever happened to those. I think they just disappeared forever with them when the store went down.
Yeah,
I
they
need
did.
a game with zombies in it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
my
they
jam.
made that. Yeah, I think they actually made that a legit arcade game that is still playable.
Did they? I
I-
don't remember that being... I know it got a Rock Band song released on Rock Band Network. The whole 10-minute, or a cut down 10-minute version of the song.
It's in the database. I think they made it a full arcade game, but it's not
That's
BC.
pretty cool. There are
that's the
so
whole
many games on this database. It really is impressive what you've built with this site, and it is very awesome to have such a comprehensive list of 360 games that you could just search through, and Xbox games you could just search through. It's very, very handy, and I absolutely want to thank you for coming on and chatting about the site.
There's
with us.
one. I just remembered one, though. It probably does exist somewhere. What was it? Gun Valkyrie, I think it was called. It was a Sega game
That's playable.
that came out.
Yeah, that's
Is
BC,
it?
isn't it?
That is
Yeah,
playable on current gen. I think it's buyable too still.
it is. You can get the store link on the website if you search it.
Hot taters. Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah,
I still have the physical disc, but obviously that's not going to do. But so maybe it will run on.
You can pop it in your Series X. Yes, you can pop that disc in your Series X, and it will download the game.
Now we're talking. I love that game.
You should do it right now. Do it live on the show, like going to Best Buy. I'm not going to do it right. That's not. It is not on the same level as going to Best Buy, but I can report back on a future episode if it takes it or not. It will.
Because I do want to check.
Yeah, the last batch they did when they ended the backward compatibility program had a bunch of really good Sega original Xbox games on it.
I guess you want to tell me Hunter the Reckoning is fine too, though technically that game has been
done by playable,
others
yes.
by now.
That's Interplay, but that is playable.
Maybe
just the first one, not the second one.
Yeah. But like the Otage games are playable, Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Yeah, this one wants to all the Sega games are playable. If Gun Valkyrie's playable, all the Sega games are likely playable now.
Nah, not all of them. Toe Jam and Earl's not
Seriously?
there.
Toe Jam and Earl was taken out before, or rather, Gun Valkyrie was ported before Toe Jam and Earl? That's an unexpected thought.
Licensing.
Touche. That's unfortunate because Toe Jam and Earl was decent. It wasn't as good as they wanted it to be, but it wasn't bad by any means.
Oh, Pernell, you should head to xboxgamepreservation.com and vote for the Toe Jam and Earl games.
Well, I mean, I might have to do it because I know I have my phone with Back in the Groove, so it'd be good to go back and take a dip into the other ones because I never got to play the third game for one. I didn't actually get into Toe Jam and Earl deeply until Back in the Groove, which was very good, by the way.
Toe Jam and Earl games are great. Anyway, Ryan, we are going to let you get going. Thank you so much for joining us. We have some reviews that we got to tackle and take care of. Where can people keep up to date with you and what you're doing?
Yeah, I mentioned I think my X profile is really the best way to kind of keep in tabs. I mean, I know that's the most popular, but again, my name on X is Flassing. That's FLAASSING. And it's been a pleasure to being on this podcast. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate the kind words and the feedback for the site. Hope you guys continue to check it out. That's xboxgamepreservation.com.
Yes, definitely check it out. Bookmark it. It will come in handy. It has already come in handy for me. I have linked it to a handful of people looking for backward compatibility information. Just how comprehensive you have the site and you have all the listings makes it so much better than any of the other options out there. People link to Wikipedia, and I think that's one of the worst lists that they have. I think the Xbox News one was the best one, as they had links to the store pages, but yours now eclipses that. So
I appreciate that. And the store page was an amazing idea, so thank you.
Glad it helped. I hope to see the site continue to grow and improve. And if they announce another badge, you're going to have to come on and chat with us about it.
Absolutely. I'll be more than happy to do so. Thank you.
Very cool. Do you have any final words before we let you get going?
No, just keep playing games. Keep having fun. Keep doing what you're doing.
As long as I'm living, I'm going to keep doing.
Hell yeah.
Thanks,
all
everyone.
Right. Have yourself a good one.
You too. Bye.
Have a good night.
Yay! Latino Heat, thank you for the 36-month resub. The timing on that was honestly quite amazing. The interview ends and we get a segue directly into a sub.
A delicious sub.
For the people keeping track, last week should have been our official Twitch streamiversary, but due to me being ungodly ill, we missed that. So it has been, you can reschedule that shit on Twitch now, which is crazy. It's like, oh, your streamiversary is here, but you could celebrate it whenever. Yay. We have a 2-week window. So we're doing it this Thursday is our streamiversary.
So it's not the first time you aired an episode, but the first time you streamed it on Twitch?
Our first official stream on Twitch, yeah. Was, I believe, March 5th. God, I don't know how many years ago. 8 years ago, maybe? Because we were on Mixer for how long before then?
Oh, SML babies.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting old.
I think I was here then, too.
Getting old. I'm getting old. Next week, I'm getting older. Oh.
It's not old enough to drink, though. It's not old enough to drink, or is it? Maybe I'm wrong.
SML? No, it's too old for Trump, though.
I mean,
Hi-oh.
never mind. I'm not going to say that because that could get us sued.
That means he'd have to, actually file a court case with someone accusing that, which brings up discovery. So no, we're not.
Discovery.
No, we're not. No one's getting sued for calling him a pedophile. You'll get sued for calling him something like stupid or something. I don't know, but not that.
Don't say that. Don't call him stupid. Don't call the stupid fat bitch a stupid fat bitch.
That's
we
right.
got reviews. Should we dive into those for the night?
Sure, let's do that.
Or first, Pernell, how was game night?
It went pretty good. I had a slight scare though while I was there. I thought somebody stole one of my games, which is something I'm dreading happening one day. But it just turned out someone else took the game home like 2 sessions ago and didn't realize they had it. So they went home, checked around their stuff. I was like, oh, it's in my basement. Here it is. Like, good. Now I can keep my faith in a small subset of humanity for a little longer. So
yeah,
all's good. All is well. Got a decent turnout. We filled the space up. And there's talk of doing it's at least a year off, but we're talking about potentially doing a convention too. So we'll see.
Question. Are you one of the people who run and organize this thing every week or month or whatever the hell it is, or what?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, really, it's not a ton to organize, thankfully, because once the ball got rolling, we just need to be consistent now, advertise and stuff like that. But it's been going
and
well.
Bring in your own games so people can play, I assume.
Yeah, though some people bring their own too, because the idea is that when you come out to it, you got a baked-in group of people that will potentially play with you, and it might be a game that they would like. They may play it at home, but they want a larger group of people that will play it with them. So, like, hey, if I bring this game out, people will play it with me if I bring it to them. So they do, and then play.
The real question is, has anyone started playing D&D there? Because technically, it's kind of a board game.
It's come up, and we wouldn't kick anyone out for doing it, honestly.
Nice. It's just once a month, people might actually show up for it for once.
Exactly. Like it's a baked in location. People will show up for it. So just have it happen. And if it works out for folks, it works out. I think it's a good idea in general. So with that said, like it's been going well. I hope it continues to go well. We will see if it produces fantastic results in the long term. But I think the best thing about it is that people have made actual friends by attending it. So like they'll show up, they'll play with people they never met before, and they stay in touch outside of it. So
nice. I think the fact that you're still doing it and it's growing is a very good sign, and that you've got something good on your hands.
I'm hoping it continues to grow, because right now the issue is that it has been static, but static at a good number. But the hope is that with the seasonal change kicking in and people being more, less in the hibernating state, maybe they'll want to come out and do stuff on Tuesdays now. Because we got more people before winter kicked in than we did after or during. So with the seasonal change, you're like, okay, maybe we'll get a nice spike in numbers.
Could there be the potential of having I don't know what the game store that you set up is like, but is there a potential for outside tables for people to play a game in the sun?
What happened today? Ooh. The weather was so damn good outside. People were playing outside today.
Nice.
As long as there's not a lot of wind out, people can do it. And we have tables for it. So it's fantastic.
Very good.
And it just works out. It's just a very good concept. Like, it's wholesome. So anybody can come out. We don't necessarily take any age, but let's be honest. If a person showed up with a ridiculously well-behaved kid, we're not going to tell them to not bring them to play games. But if you bring some little rowdy muppet, no, they got to go. But we generally invite anybody that wants to come out. We offer them a built-in library, so you don't even have to own the games that they don't want. And overall, it's just a good time. Now, we have yet to have an incident where we would have had to, kick somebody out or call the cops or any number of things of that nature. It's just been good.
That's a very good thing.
I
heard a noise in the kitchen, and I don't think I want to investigate. It's going to be a mess from a cat.
One of the cats.
Oh, yeah, I hear growling.
Hey! How's it they don't get along? I guess cats just never get along. They hate each other. They stay that way. I don't know. I know people that are like that, where they have cats that live with them, and it's just like, how long have they been living together? 4 years, and they still sneer at each other? Yep. We're changing.
Only for Jesus, Pickle and Predator have been together for like 7 years, and they still fight with each other. Little bastards.
Yeah, fancy guys. Like, what the hell is it going to take? Can they join forces to stop a common foe? I don't know. The freaking anime crossover for two cats.
Pickle's got a hair up his ass tonight, so he's going to be a problem, I think.
So you can't really refer to him as Sweet Pickles, huh? Not that
he's
sweet.
Such an asshole. Pickle is such an asshole. Out of all of our cats, he's probably the biggest asshole.
He's Sour Pickles.
Yeah.
But that in itself might be enough. He's like, are you talking to me?
So yeah, should we dive into reviews we got?
Well, before that, since I came in at the tail end of it, and if you're recording, I don't know, you'll give me an answer anyway. How was the interview? How'd it go?
I mean, this is all still live, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, it was good. It was a fun chat about Xbox preservation, the backward compatibility program, what things we would love to see come to the program if they were to ever restart it. And I, of course, had to ask the question whether or not he believed their bullshit excuses that they hit the limits of what they could do. I do not believe at all.
Oh, yeah. And I hope his answer was, of course, I don't believe it.
By we hit our limits, we mean we ran out of the financial obligation to do this.
That is what I would believe it to be. They made a promise to consumers. They didn't want to stick with it because it was costing them money. So they decided to hit the off ramp when they had a good excuse for it. And the
Halo 1 doesn't work. Come the fuck on.
Well, that one I can see if they're like, okay, well, we're giving you the Master Chief Collection or whatever, which had like an updated version of it. They could clean the excuse, like, just play the new one.
If it's about preservation, the original should be playable.
Oh, yeah, but what we both know it's not about preservation. Like you said, it's about an obligation to the consumer.
If it's about preservation, which they claim it is, and they can't get their own first-party games.
That's because I will agree. It doesn't make a lot of sense that one's not on there, but that's the excuse I could picture them using for why it's not on there.
Yeah. Same with Fable and Fable Anniversary, but preservation, man. I should be able to play my original version of Fable, which people prefer the original version of Fable to Fable Anniversary. So you should be able to play
Really?
Fable. Yes.
Well, that's actually a surprise to hear. I would have thought it'd be the other way around.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but I guess they made some dumb changes to it.
One of the dumb changes was that they put a friggin' smart glass achievement in the game that you can no longer get.
Smart glass achievement?
Yes. Smart glass was their tablet app that you could sync to the game and uses like a second screen with maps and shit, and that's not supported anymore. So you can't.
Didn't that die in like a year and a half or something?
Oh yeah, it was very quick.
Most of the tech that they've developed has died really quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
that's a shame.
Reviews?
Sure.
We can do that.
All right, let's dive into these. First game tonight, Gear.Club Unlimited 3, developed by Eden Games, published by Nacon, released February 19th on the Switch 2 for $49.99. Having attracted millions of players for nearly 10 years, the Gear.Club series finally returns with Gear.Club Unlimited 3. For the first time in the series, you can now explore the asphalt roads of Japan, as well as the French Mediterranean coast. Drive over 40 prestigious cars from the biggest automotive brands and customize every detail. Create a car that reflects your individuality and show off your style on a wide range of spectacular racetracks. Pernell, what is going on in Gear.Club Unlimited 3?
Okay, so Gear.Club Unlimited 3 is a racing game that is a little bit of a combination of, I guess, like sim game and also arcade racing game, depending on how you look at it. The idea behind this is that it has two modes. It has a story mode and arcade mode. The arcade mode is very straightforward in regards to racing on a track of your choosing a car either from what's available on that screen or based on the cars you've unlocked in story mode. I'll go into story mode in a second, but for the most part, I wanted to talk about this mode right now. And what that is when you're driving, the game usually has a number of different race types on there and a number of different tracks you can race on. But generally, for the most part, the idea is that when the race starts, you will drive along the track from beginning to end trying to overtake a series of other cars, just like a typical racing game. However, there is an interesting element to this game in regards to the fact that while there is no damage that is done to your car while you're driving, the game still incentivizes you, or rather encourages you, to drive as well as possible without, getting into an incident or accident. So if you're driving, and let's say, for example, you overtake a car that's ahead of you, but you don't clip it, you don't, slam into the wall while you're doing it, or any of those things, you will get an indication on your screen telling you, overtake plus 500, or you will get something indicating, perfect take of a section of the race, or, no clip, and you'll get points for that. And eventually, those points will add up to changing the letter on like a letter grid. Think of the basketball game Horse, in that as you get more points, you'll get these letters flashing on the screen that's ultimately spell the word unlimited, i.e. the game's title. And you want to spell as much of the word unlimited as possible, which means doing good racing, clean racing, without making mistakes and blunders. And at the end of the race, in addition to if you did well or whatever based on your time, you will also get a score based on those individual items. In regards to what that means, aside from personal joy, that's likely going to come in on the story mode, which I will also talk about in a few. Actually, it might be time to talk about it now. And then I'll talk about this, the general feel I have for the courses and stuff. The story mode involves the Gear.Club setting up a branch in Japan, and your character being responsible for getting it done. And this is going to take place by way of racing across courses around the world. And these courses come with stakes involved, as in if you win a course, you'll get prize money. And the prize money is wonderful because you'll use that to buy new cars and, purchase upgrades and stuff. But in addition to needing the money, there are also parts that you'll need to acquire to upgrade your car. You'll get a default amount of parts by winning certain races. However, if you manage to win the race, spelling a good chunk of the word unlimited by, again, performing a clean run, you will get a multiplier attributed to the parts you'll win. And then you can take those parts back to your shop and use them to upgrade your car. You might want to upgrade the engine, or basic stuff like your engine and like performance. You can basically make sure to do that by doing so. You can then spend additional money and points to upgrade your workshop to give you more capabilities to upgrade more components or upgrade them to higher levels using more parts. You can use staff by winning them in races and then assigning them to different parts of your workshop in order to increase the performance of those things. And that's where the sim part comes in, because in addition to just buying cars, you also have a clubhouse that you need to build up on. And you can use money from the winning races that you do to buy components to make your clubhouse look good, or to put in a car mechanics workshop, or to improve the workshop, or just improve other elements of that facility in addition to the cars you're slopping into it. And then aside from doing races on the side to improve your resources to increase your car garage size and the performance of your cars, there are also story levels that will result in you progressing the narrative forward, because there is technically a narrative on top of the racing here. I feel as though I am not the sort of guy that's going to make a graphics hound, and I don't play a good ton of different, racing games of this ilk. But I will say from my personal take that the graphics on this game look pretty nice. The courses are pretty nice to look at. And the performance of the game, though the game does let you choose between looks and performance in regards to how the game runs it, I chose performance. I believe the game runs pretty solidly. No crashes or anything like that happened to me. Knock on aluminum. The game runs well. And I had no real gripes about it. If anything, if there was going to be one complaint I could potentially have about the game, is that the game itself is pretty by the books. Like, it may be something weird to say, or maybe something I'm just thinking about, but nothing about it made me go, wow, this feels special for this point in time in getting a racing game. It felt more like me saying, I'm looking for a racing game that plays like this. This game delivers and it looks good. I will play it. I mean, that's fine sometimes. I mean, we're in a sea where hundreds of thousands of games exist at any given time. And even on the Switch 1, at least, there are multiple other racing games you can buy. I want to say, aside from like Mario Kart World or whatever, This is the only racing game dedicated to the Switch 2 right now. So that may put it in a class of its own. And it's a good racing game to be that, though. So if you're looking for a good racing game on your Switch 2, that's exclusively on Switch 2, you really can't go wrong with this. But if you're looking at the thing and going, well, the price tag isn't all that great, I don't know how I feel about this. Well, wait for it to get a price tag discount. But as I generally don't review games based on how much they cost, or I try not to, I'm going to say that this game is pretty good. You name the price you want it to be, but as far as it goes, when there's a price that you're comfortable paying, you're going to get a good racing game out of this. And I need to also mention the racing goals in the story mode aren't necessarily just be first place. There's also at least one other one that I can think of off the top of my head, which is the duel mode. And I do kind of enjoy that, where you'll be racing an opponent, and it's not about beating them in a race proper. It's about pretty much just like rubbing their nose in the fact that they can't catch up to you. Because as the race is taking place, you want to stay ahead of them on the course. And there's a counter that counts down on the top of the screen. The longer you stay in front of this person, your opponent, the more that clock will tick down. And whenever the clock cycles to 0, there's a health bar associated with the other racer on the top of the screen that will take some health loss from it. And your goal is to stay ahead of them long enough for them to lose all of their health. And the races that you're racing on to do these duels on aren't necessarily clean roads. You'll be racing on interstate highways or narrow roadways where you're sharing cars with other people, and you're bobbing and weaving through traffic while trying to stay ahead of your opponent. And to be frank, it's a pretty exhilarating vibe, and I don't get that in too many games that I've played. Again, there might be other racing games that do this that I haven't played. Maybe Forza does it. I'm just saying I haven't experienced that, and I think it's pretty cool how they do it in this game. So I just wanted to point that out, as I think it's a very important component of the game's charm that I kind of neglected to mention earlier when I was talking about the story mode. But as it stands, I do believe that Gear.Club Unlimited 3 is a fun racing game that if you want to put your time in, if you want to buy it, I think you'll have enjoyment. You'll extract enjoyment from the experience.
Well, you don't like to review based on price, but you got to do it anyway. It's a $50 game. What do you think of Gear.Club Unlimited 3?
In that case, I'm giving it a try then. I feel as though it does have charms that may be the thing that may suit your interest. It definitely suited mine, and I had fun playing it. So I give it a solid high and try it.
Rock on. Next up, Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered, developed by Crystal Dynamics and PlayEveryWare, published by Crystal Dynamics. Released March 3rd, Xbox One, Series and PC, PS4, PS5, and normal PC. I don't know if I said PC 20 times or not. $29.99, coming soon to Switch and Switch 2. Return to the dark world of Nosgoth as you take control of both the vampire Kain and his betrayed lieutenant Raziel, two powerful entities bound by the conflict between free will and fate. Armed with legendary blades and supernatural abilities, battle through towering gothic spaces filled with enemies, puzzles, and long-buried secrets where no victory comes without a cost. Experience a timeless, dark fantasy reborn for a new generation. Aki, what is going on in the Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered?
Okay. In this one, you play as both Kain and as Raziel, which is cool, because I've never actually played as Kain before, so that was interesting. And this takes... After the second game, I think, you go into a portal chasing after him because it goes to the future or some shit, and it's all timey-wimey. And Kain has somehow brought himself, I believe, to the past to go deal with, for lack of a better word, the big bad, considering I always have considered Kain to be the big bad. Basically, one of the people who has been more or less sending Raziel after Kain, and some mage dude who lives for like ever. So he's off to go kill him, and Raziel has been stuck in his undead spiritual form, and he's trying to escape to go after Kain once more, while Kain is just trying to make his life better by destroying the objects in the past that come and bite him in the ass in the future. And yeah, the game originally has you starting off playing as Kain, and you get to play with some of his abilities. Not many, sadly, but yeah, you're able to walk through bars and stuff because you turn into mist, which is kind of cool. Something that Raziel can only do in a spiritual form, not in his physical one. So that was pretty interesting to be able to do that. That was cool. And his combat flows, I think, a little better than Raziel's does. Everything seems to hit faster and do more damage, which was really nice. And you play basically one level as Kain, and then it switches you to Raziel. And then you play a level as Raziel, and then it flips you back to Kain. So it's very back and forthy. They have not come into actual contact with each other yet, as far as I've played, but I'm pretty sure they do later on in the game. And yeah, this edition of the game provides, both the current graphics for the remaster, but also it allows you to just push a button and see the old graphics. I think that some of the situations, it's easier to see things with the older graphics. There's a lot of points where there's like, oh yeah, you need to climb up a wall. And with the new graphics, it's really hard to see those places because they kind of just look like all the rest of the wall. Whereas, in the old version of it, it was a completely different color. It didn't have any outcroppings or anything. Like, it was much more obvious. So it's nice that you get to flip between them because you're probably going to need to climb up things, because otherwise you're going to be looking around like I did for like 20 minutes trying to figure out where the fuck am I supposed to go? There's nothing here. So yeah. As you continue through the games, obviously you unlock more and more of each of their powers. There's a handful of collectibles that you need to find throughout each level, and you actually have to find them in the level because there's an achievement for collecting all of them. And if you use level select, it basically treats that as a brand new game. So that kind of sucks. You need to get them all in one playthrough because you can't use level select to go back and get them. That's a real shame.
Get good.
Yeah, get good and have a guide. Because there's a lot of these motherfuckers. Because there's health upgrades, there's magic upgrades, there's some other upgrade. I couldn't actually figure out what the hell it did, to be honest. And then there's powers that you also unlock. So it's like there's just a lot of things you can collect throughout this. And you fight different enemies based on which character you're playing as well. Most of the enemies that Kain is fighting are overwhelmingly like people and beasts, whereas a lot of things that obviously Raziel, the one who eats the souls, fights are spiritual things or undead monstrosities, things like that. So it has a big grouping of different enemies, which was pretty nice. Because I remember in the first couple of games, it was like, oh, here's like 3 enemies. Have fun. So that's pretty cool.
All right.
Any questions for me?
No, I'm just wondering if you enjoyed this one.
I did. I think I liked playing as Kain more than I did as Raziel, because again, for some reason, combat just felt smoother playing as Kain than it did with Raziel. I don't know why, because they have the same controls, basically the same weapons, the same camera setup. So I don't know why, but Kain just felt so much smoother to play as, and it was really fun to actually play as him because I've never played any of the Blood Omen games. So
nice.
This was really interesting for me.
All right. Well, I was wrong. It is not $29.99. The deluxe edition is $29.99. The standard edition is $24.99. The deluxe edition includes the Dark Prophecy demo, which is a playable demo to the canceled sequel Defiance Dark Prophecy, as well as a digital comic reader. and some skins. So $25. What do you think of this thing?
If you want that, the deluxe stuff, definitely get that because you can't get that individually. So I would suggest probably buying the deluxe one because it gives a couple of skins that you can't get otherwise. Namely, you get the original version of what they were concept art of Raziel, which is actually really cool looking, as well as some monstrosity version of Kain, as well as the demo for the canceled game. It's actually pretty sizable from what I understand. Oh. So if you'd like to see that stuff, definitely get the deluxe edition. It's definitely worth it easily. If you don't really care about playing that unreleased canceled game, then you go ahead and get the normal one. I think it's totally worth playing. It's a really fun game.
Deluxe edition does have a separate upgrade, by the way. It's $8.
Oh, it does? I thought it didn't have one. Okay, I'm gonna go buy.
You gotta make sure that you look for the deluxe edition upgrade and not just the 2 skin packs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's specifically Legacy Kain Defiance Remastered Deluxe Edition Upgrade, $7.99. Includes the demo and the comic reader, as well as the other stuff. There is also a Heart of Darkness collection that includes what you just reviewed, as well as the upcoming Legacy of Kain Ascendance. That is $44.99. What do you think of that?
I have a feeling it's probably going to be worth it. Just a guess.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I dropped the money on the deluxe bundle already, so I'm prepared.
These are really cool because the only games of these I'd ever played were the first 2 Soul Reaper games, and that's it. So this is all real interesting. I'm getting to play games I've never played before, and that was cool.
Very good. Next up, Demon Tides, developed and published by Fabraz. It released February 19th on Steam for $24.99, and it's coming soon to the Switch. Race across open oceans and uncover a kingdom's dark secrets. Expressively platform your way across dozens of locales, upgrading your gear and modifying your moveset every step of the way. Pernell, what is Demon Tides?
Well, Demon Tides is the sequel to a previous game you may not have heard of called Demon Turf, where in this game you play as a young demon-esque character named Beebs, who, along with her friends, are traveling to a particular kingdom to meet with a person who invited her, King Ragnar, who is apparently Beebs' father. If you're hearing that and going, well, why would I care about that? I didn't play the first game, and I don't understand what these connections are. Well, that's okay, because neither did I, so don't feel bad about it. Doesn't mean you won't enjoy this game, because, spoiler alert, if you like 3D platformers, you're probably going to love this freaking game. As you are playing this, you will be exploring this so-called kingdom, hoping to reach her father's home, because the apparent, for whatever reason, the king invited you here to meet him. His castle exists in the sky, but he gave you no way of how to reach it, and he gave you no person to guide you there as well. So you're trying to figure out how to get to that location. And it seems to be that the key lies in this game's MacGuffin, the golden gears, which are hidden throughout the kingdom and can be used by a particular individual to power a machine that will let you reach his home base. And that is the crux of the game. Exploring Ragnar's kingdom, locating these golden gears, and reaching his building so Beebs can figure out who the heck he is, why he claims to be her father, and just why he abandoned her up until now. How does this get done? Well, exploring, of course, and this is done by way of 3D platforming. Beebs' moveset is interesting in that she only has a few onset abilities she can do, which are jumping, using the A button to jump, and she can do a triple jump a la Mario if she wants to. She has a dash, which can be done with the trigger button. This doubles as her attack in the game. If she dashes into enemies, they'll take damage and die. And lastly, if you hit the left trigger, she turns, while you're in the air or even on the ground, she'll turn into a bat and she will spin across the screen. Sounds pretty simple, and it is, except for the fact that these moves can be changed in different ways to perform different effects, and they will perform differently as well. For example, If Beebs jumps once, she just jumps in the air. If you jump twice while you're in the air, you do a double jump. But the second form turns into a bat, which now changes the way she performs her movements. Now she descends a little slower. And if she were to do a dash attack while in this bat form in the air, now she jumps. She does a diagonal dive bomb to the ground. If you hold down the jump button when you're doing that, you'll do a springboard off the ground called a cannonball launch, and you'll get a little bit more momentum going forward. If you decide to do your bat spin while you're in the air one time, and then use your dash button, you do a ground pound drill spin. So changing the way that move performs. If you decide to jump once, do the spin, then do the A button to turn into a bat, you'll do another sort of like launch jump spin, and then do another cannonball. So the point I'm making here is they give you 3 moves, but you perform so many different things with those 3 moves that depending on the jumping puzzle you encounter on any given section of the game, you are going to engage with it very differently using those same 3 buttons. Now, as you're exploring the islands looking for gear so you can get further into the game itself, you will also occasionally come across treasure chests. And these treasure chests can include a gear, of course it does, but sometimes it may even include a badge. Badges are pretty cool in this game because what they allow you to do is augment your abilities. For example, you might find one that when you decide to use the jump and then bat spin, you'll get a bit of elevated boost before you go forward, which might come in handy if you're trying to reach a certain platform, but your bat jump just doesn't make the distance by a certain amount. Now, maybe your diagonal descent will reach it because you come from a higher height. Weird things like that. Sometimes you might come across an ability talisman that will augment your basic abilities, like a parasail that you can deploy to kind of slow your descent on your way down when you're trying to clear a gap or so. Of course, the the paraglider is not permanent and it will eventually break. But when I say break, I mean per use. It's not like you have to recollect it or whatever. But it's still really cool to be like, hey, I have this new thing, and for this segment of the game, now I can perform this way to reach things I might not have been able to reach before. And it's pretty cool because you can equip sets of these talismans at any given time so that if you come across a situation where one combination works better for that specific issue, you can switch to that set, use it, and then move on. As you defeat bosses in the game, you'll get additional talisman slots so you can make it actually hold on to more at any given time, which will give you even more capabilities in how you want to perform your play. And I forgot to even mention, she also has wall running capabilities, which are pretty cool in this game, though I kind of suck at using them. And I'm grateful that the game does not have a live system, because if it did, I would have probably died a long time ago. But it doesn't do that. Instead, it has a very, very generous checkpoint system. So, for the record, anybody listening to this show that is doing a 3D platform or considering one in the future, I would appreciate you engaging in the way this game does checkpointing, because this is what they should frickin' be. And that is, you choose where the heck you want your checkpoint to be. Because the idea of a platformer, in my opinion, is to have challenging sections that you feel accomplished by completing that are also fun at the same time. That does not mean having to redo an entire stage because the one jumping section that gives you trouble is 3/4 of the way through the level, and the game only put a checkpoint maybe on the halfway mark of the stage or even earlier than that. Hence, I mentioned 3/4 of the way through. But in this game, you can choose when you want to set one. If you come across a segment that looks like it might be challenging for you, or you've attempted it once and failed, so you know it's going to be a challenge for a few more times, you can just at any given point in time, hold down a button and slam a checkpoint flag into the ground. And then, anytime you freaking want, you can hold down another button to warp right back to that checkpoint, also whenever you want. No muss, no fuss, there's no current. Yes.
How many checkpoints can you place like that? Is it just infinite, or?
Just one, but at the same time, it depends on how you want to engage them, because technically, you can just put it down and say, I need to cross this chasm. Put a checkpoint down, cross the chasm. Now put another checkpoint down, cross another chasm, put another checkpoint. I do admit it would be nice if I could put another checkpoint down for, like, say, like a place I know I need to go back to eventually. And then I want to also have the checkpoint just for the difficulty segments. But
Okay,
beggars can't be choosers. I'm good.
So you can only have one placed at a time, but you can place them infinitely.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And it does take a lot of the frustration out of the game, too. There is a move list also if you find yourself wondering, like, man, there was a jump type I could do, but I don't remember what the combination of buttons was that triggered it. Well, the game has a move list, so you can just look it up at any given time and see how to perform that motion again and refresh yourself. And to be frank, you might not even have to use certain move combinations as much as you might think you do, but you might find yourself wanting to because it's just freaking fun to bounce around in this game. And there are a lot of cool locations to visit. It plays kind of like how Wind Waker did it, when you would just surf around a giant map and come across different islands or locales and then dock there and explore. So you're not on a boat in this game that you start out on a boat. Instead, Beavis just turns into a snake and swims through the ocean. And she's extremely fast in the ocean, so it doesn't even feel like you're wasting time. It goes pretty quickly. And once you get to a location for the first time, you can warp back there literally whenever you want. You don't have to blow an ocarina to do it. You just push a button and say, I'm going back here. So pretty nifty how they do that. Honestly, I have no complaints about this game. The one I could potentially have is that I wish there was a melee attack that wasn't the dash, but it hardly even so much as hurts this game. It's just a ton of fun to play. Getting that perfect jump segment to get to that gear or piece of gear or to collect all the mabobbles to complete a level feels freaking fantastic, especially when the big thing pops on the screen saying 100% complete this area. So now you know you don't have to come back anymore because the game straight up told you you got everything there was to find there. So I love this freaking game. It may well be this year's Garbanzo quest for me, in that I became obsessed with it and eventually completed it 100%.
Nice.
And I will tell all my friends about it because it's a game they probably have never heard of, but they should hear about it because hot diggity damn. I'm not playing Pocopia because I'm playing this.
Well, $25. What do you think of Demon Tides?
Easy buy it recommendation. I don't think you'll regret the purchase. Lots of fun, very colorful. The vibes are hitting. And that's all I got to say about that.
Fabraz has always put out good games. Demon Turf, Slime Son. Do you know what their next project is?
Oh, they did Slime Son too?
Yeah. And they're doing friggin' Bubsy 4 next. How awesome is that?
Oh, well, I think it's hilarious because Bubsy 4 by default would seem like an easy skip, but now I'm not so sure about that.
Next
Still
up,
good.
Manairons, developed by JanduSoft and 3Cat, published by JanduSoft, released February 25th on Xbox Series, PC, and One, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $19.99. Manairons is a 3D action platformer game inspired by the legends of little creatures living in the Pyrenees. Help Naiive face off against the landowner who is taking control of a charming village using the power of the Knut. With magic, flute, and plenty of chaos. The Manairons are back, and this time they're not staying quiet. Aki, what is going on in this?
Okay. So in this, basically, this guy found this magical stick and summoned the... What the fuck did you call them? The Manairons?
That's what I've... Shrug.
I'm just going to go with that because I have no fucking clue how to pronounce it either. And they're basically like little Keebler elves, more or less, except for mixed with little goblins. And they go around and they just do whatever work they're told to do. And they become obsessed with just doing whatever it is they're told to do. And he decided, hey, slave labor, cool, let's do this. And he has basically taken over this town and is continuing to make it, in his eyes, better and better and more advanced. Except for, it's kind of ruining everyone else's lives, and it's hurting animals and occasionally hurting people too. Like one person in the cutscene where at one of the very beginning cutscenes, they're like, "Oh yeah, he did this," and you see like the village turn into from like just this rural little old timey, sticks and straw type town to this like brick area instead, where they've paved all the roads and stuff, and then you see like bakers, and then suddenly they're part mechanical and have like a flamethrower or something attached to their arm so they can bake better. It's like, yeah, they might be they advance and make everything better without the permission of anyone, because all that matters is he tells them to do something, so they do it. Doesn't matter if anyone else wants any of it to happen. They're not the owner of the magic stick. And this witch has spoken into Nai's head and freed them from the power of the stick. For some reason, they were only able to do it to one of them because that one was different in some form. And yeah, unlike all the others who want to work and toil the day away, you just want to play music and, sleep. So yeah, you're a lazy little shit, and it's great.
Nice.
Yeah, so you're woken up and you start off in the middle of a chicken coop. Underneath it, obviously. And you have to find your way out of this while beating the shit out of all of the normal Manairons or whatever they're called. And yeah, you have the X button to hit them with your flute. That is strong enough not to break, thankfully. I would not suggest trying this in real life. It will break. And yeah, it's fairly basic when it comes to combat. Usually enemies will run at you. Some of them are flying. Some of them have shields. Some of them are in mechanized roosters. You can just ignore that point. And yeah, you just run up and you whack them until they fall on the ground dizzy and then disappear. Yeah, every time you find one of your little beanie bags that you sleep in, you can rest. It gives you any of the mushrooms that you found in the level, which are basically your healing flasks, as well as respawns all the enemies. So yeah, be careful with that. This is not a Souls-like, so the respawning enemies don't give you anything if you beat the shit out of them again and again and again. So there's really no point in going backwards. You go forwards, you find that checkpoint, and you never look back, because why would you? Yeah, there's lots of little puzzles in the game. They're pretty easy. Like, one of them was like, oh, here's a battery, and you can place it in any of these 4 areas, and there's 3 rows of these 4 areas, and you have to figure out what gates you can open by placing the battery down. And then you go and open it, and you collect the thing from it that you need, which is a different type of battery that you place somewhere else. You do this until you've got all the batteries, and then you use the other door that those batteries went in so you can leave. The end. That's the amazing difficulty of this puzzle. So not going to be too hard for you. Not going to be too hard for the kids. It's nice. It's simple. The only problem really comes in that the platforming isn't great, because, again, it's a 3D platformer, but the camera, sadly, is in a fixed plane, treating everything like it's 2D. So a lot of your jumps, you have to finagle yourself to land on things based on where the shadow underneath you is, which is not always the easiest thing on the planet to do.
Yeah.
And then there's also, as you continue through the game, you get little magical powers that you can use with your flute. The main problem with that is there's nothing that keeps track of that information that I found anyways. You just kind of have to remember the notes in the order, or else you're kind of screwed. I couldn't find a place where it actually listed them anywhere. So yeah, might want to write that shit down, folks, because if you forget it, sucks to be you. And some of those are used later on. For instance, the first one you find allows you to jump and catch onto something to fling yourself up higher. And those can only be used in certain areas. You actually get a little circle that denotes where you can use your magic abilities, and there you just have to figure out which one of them you can use. But they're required to get around. So yeah, you need to write those down so you don't forget them, which kind of sucks. But yeah, also there's 3 different types of collectibles in every level. A stamp, to which there's a few of the stamps a bunch of coins. I think there's 20 in every level. And then something else that I can't remember off the top of my head. And you had to collect those in one go. Have fun, because there's achievements based on that too. And there's no going back. That I found anyways.
Fun.
So, yeah. Get good, Scrubs. Get good. Have a guide whenever someone makes one. Hopefully soon.
All right. Well, let's talk price on this one. Once again, I was wrong. It is not $19.99. It's on sale for $19.99. It is $24.99. So we've had 3 games in a row at $24.99, and I only had one of them listed as $24.99. I am doing great this week. $25 on this one. What do you think?
I think if you like 3D puzzle platformers, this is definitely going to be for you. If you don't, this probably isn't going to change your mind. Personally, I like it. I think it's worth it. And yeah, just be prepared to probably have to play through it a couple times so you can get all the collectibles if you're an achievement hunter. Otherwise, just enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just enjoy games.
I can't. I have to 100% them.
You got to change you got to change. We got to break you. I think Bree is finally being broken from those.
Oh, she broke from that stuff already.
We got to get you next. One final game to talk about tonight is Insider Trading, developed and published by Naiive, maybe? There's 2 eyes there, so I don't know. Released February 18th on Steam for $12.99. Insider Trading is a roguelike deck builder where you bend the market to your will, synergize perks, manipulate stock prices, and trade wisely, or risk pricing yourself out. Pernell, what is Insider Trader or Insider Trading? I can't talk.
Insider Trading is an interesting game in that you're going to find yourself having to get over a bit of a learning curve to really take advantage of what this game has to offer. But once you manage to pull that off, you may well find yourself swimming in a fantastic new game in the roguelike deck builder genre. So in the course of this game, the goal is that you are a financial investor. Stay with me. I swear it's better than it sounds. You are a financial investor, and you are trying to take your starting resources of finances and grow them into a larger pot of finances before the end of a week in order to maintain your employment status. That is to say, your ass will be on the street if you can't make your company money. How does this get done? Well, by investing, buying, and selling stocks, of course. The game takes place over the course of multiple weeks, and each week consists of 5 days. On a day, the market will open up. Well, the beginning of that, before even that starts happening, you have to choose a character, and the character determines what your starting loadout of cards will be, as well as a potential perk that the character may bring to the table with them. After that, you will choose a type of card or connection that can show up during your play. The game will give you descriptions like what those types of cards could represent, like maybe one group, if you choose, involves heavily manipulation. Another might involve discarding cards and drawing new cards, whatever. And then after you pick that, the game's afoot. Each day, the market opens up. Starting price is $100 on to buy a stock price or to buy some stock, and you have a starting balance of $1,000 with a goal to reach. The game will deal out 10 cards, just like a deck builder would be, where you'd have a hand of 5, but in this case, a hand of 10. And the way these cards work is that when the day begins and the trading starts, they will run from left to right as they're displayed on the screen. Some of these tokens will decrease the value of the current market price. Others will increase the value of the market price. Again, not as complicated as I'm making it sound. You can freely move these pieces back and forth. Sometimes you can use items to delete them, redraw new cards, to ultimately try to get these items in such a way that the sequence will make the price go up or down as you would best prefer given the course of action you'd wish to take. So let's say, for example, make it simple. The day starts at $100. You have the means to buy 10 shares of stock at that price. However, you have a loadout that indicates to you that by the end of the day, if you let it run properly, the price of the stocks are going to be $130 a share, which means you will profit if you buy at the beginning of the day and sell at the end. At this point, it's go time, baby. You hit that button, you do trade, you buy all the stock you can, they'll run through the cycle, and then you will resell them, and the game will show that you profited X amount of dollars. At this point, you might feel great. But let's just say, for example, the cards that are on the table don't look the way you would like them to. And it's going to result in a price change that is not up to your standards. Well, you have a few options here. The game gives you tokens that can be spent after rounds to make purchases, which I'll talk about shortly. But at this phase, you can also use them to manipulate cards. You can either move them or just throw them out entirely. If you choose to move or discard, the first one is free. That's how they get you sucked in. You can select the move option, take one card, move it to another spot. Why would you want to do that? Well, aside from the fact that, well, again, you might just want to change things for the better. It might be manipulating based on a certain percentage that it hits when a card is triggered. You can also set them up sometimes so that if you get a sequence of card types to line up, 5 to be specific, you will get them to trigger again. You'll get a bonus in tokens. And also sometimes, depending on the perks you've got, you might get an additional bonus on top of that. So it's kind of cool to be like, hey, I have 5 cards that are investor cards that will increase the price of this by 10%. If I get them to line up together, it'll go up 20%. Bing, bing, bing. So you'll set that up. If you feel as though there's a card on the deck that you just don't want in there anywhere, you just can't stand it, you can delete it entirely and the game will replace it with another card. So you might find yourself doing that. And each time you decide you want to do one of those functions again, the game will charge you tokens to do so, increasing incrementally as each attempt is used. So you got to be smart about how many times you want to do this, know when to hold them and when to fold them. But lastly, if you find out that it feels that there's nothing you can really do to fix this market, or it's not worth the investment to manipulate the market in the way you want, you can always just not buy at all for that day. You can skip the trading process entirely, in which case the game will give you 5 tokens as a reward for not investing for a day. Sometimes that's a very viable option to undergo. Now, after a day's over, the game will give you some bonuses based on how you performed. And then you will proceed to the shopping phase of the game. Because, of course, a game like this has to have shopping associated with it. At this point, you have to do something that is very unlike a lot of games of this ilk. Normally, you take your money and you buy a brand new card, or cards, or artifacts, as it were, depending on the game, like Slay the Spire or whatever. But in the case of this game, they make you choose 2 cards that you don't pay for, but they make you take 2 cards. One card is from the quote-unquote bad side of the spectrum, and the other card is from the quote-unquote good side of the spectrum. In other words, one card that will inevitably result in money losses when played, and the other that will inevitably result in money gains when the card is played. You'll do that, and then you'll get to spend those tokens that I mentioned earlier to purchase items, whether it be pills, because of course as an investment banker popping pills, and the pills will result in various one-off effects that might affect the game. Like you might be able to spend a pill to just decrease the market price by $10 flat out. You could also use it to purchase perks. And these are like the general artifact-esque constant bonuses that trigger when certain things happen in the game. And you'll find yourself wanting to buy as many of those as you can possibly afford. That's going to be your real meal ticket. As the game progresses, you continue to get further and further in the game. After each week, if you clear your goal, for example, the game will reset your total money to $1,000 with a brand new goal you have to hit by the end of the next week. Watch and repeat until you're done. There are difficulty levels. There are new characters you can unlock. There are different modifiers you can unlock. And quite frankly, I feel weird even describing this game by review because even hearing myself talk about it, it sounds boring as shit. But I cannot emphasize enough how wrong that assumption is. This game is stupidly good. It feels really good to go into a general day. The best way to put it is like, have you ever found yourself being like, man, I really wish I understood the stock market so I could be freaking loaded because that's how people make money. Well, you won't be good at the stock market, but this game makes you kind of feel like you are. And nice. Opening up a day knowing you can make a freaking profit off of what should have been a fail bus. Buy, sell. You feel great when the day clears. It's like, you made $200. Like, you're damn right I made $200. That was some masterful investing I just pulled off. This game hits you with that. It feels really good to succeed, and it sucks when you fail, but that's just how it goes. And you'll just start another run anyway and try again. I can't. I mean, I'm giving it away early, but I can't recommend this game enough. Like it feels different from other games like this in a genre that is extremely, extremely crowded right now, and it's just gold. I can't recommend this game enough.
No reason to give it away early. Just give it away now. It's $13. Give us a verdict.
Absolute buy. And if you don't want to buy it, then I'm going to also say, fuck it, why not? Because I want you to buy this game and play it.
Sounds
it's
good.
so good.
And with that, we
great.
are finito with this episode. Big thanks to you two for being here, hanging out. And big thanks to Ryan Chodera for coming on, chatting about his website, xboxgamepreservation.com. Give it a look. Check out the leaderboards and chime in and on what you would like to see if Xbox ever revisits the program, which it'd be nice if they did. And anyone have any final words to end the show?
I know it's a video game show, but play more board games. They're fucking great.